school year is in the air, so is some stress and anxiety that comes along with it. Joining us this morning here in Studio 61 with some tips for a smooth transition is Ellen Palmer. She's an award-winning holistic health and life coach from Avon. Ellen, thanks for being great to have you back. It's been a bit.
It's nice to see you again.
And we really need you right now. There's a lot of changes coming our way, some big ones, kids going off to school or to college for the first time. And so parents are really feeling the stress, right?
They are. It's an exciting time, but also it can be a very stressful time for families and for students. And so I have 3 tips that are going to make this transition as smooth as possible for students of any age.
Perfect. Let's get right into it.
Okay. First one is called Structure for Freedom. We can all resist structure at times, especially with the flowy freedom of summer, but think of it as a reset of your routine to help get your mind and your body ready. It just is known widely that a trigger for anxiety is uncertainty. So let's set ourselves up for success by having more consistency with our routine. Our bedtime routine especially matters, our morning routine. Taking that time to run back through it. For parents, what that looks like is starting now if school starts next week.
Right. Setting that earlier bedtime.
I know
you don't
it's
want
so
to because
hard.
you're like, oh, I've still got a few more days of summer left.
I know, but it can feel so jarring to our body and our mind to just have a real sudden shift in our schedule. And so for parents, it looks like getting us ready. But for students, I know it's hard to set an alarm, but when you are jumping out of bed when the alarm goes off and not allowing yourself any time to get grounded, give yourself some space and some time to get organized, you're probably going to feel more stressed and anxious. The brain thrives on routine. We have much better regulation and we have much more focus and cognition when we have a set routine. So set yourself up for success.
All right. Well, tip number 2, less is more?
Less is more. This is a hard one for me, for sure. Really resist that urge to overschedule ourselves and our family. I know there's a lot of activities. We want to cram as much as we can into this season, especially with fall.
Again,
so
we're like, oh, we've got a few more days.
Let's just do as much as we can. I know. And think of how exhausting it is for our bodies and our minds to take in all the new information, the social dynamics, the change in schedule. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. If we have a much slower pace, we don't cram our schedules, we have a chance to assimilate that information. We take the stress down for the whole family and we set ourselves up for success.
And if we're really feeling it, then the kids are definitely feeling it.
They always know. They always can tell. And then we have that heightened sense of urgency for everything and we're rushing around. What I recommend is start slower and then add extracurricular activities and events, trips and things that align with our values for our family.
All right. And finally, tip number 3.
Yeah, I call this the perfect present moment pair. So anxiety is also provoked when we are in the future worrying, right? We have fear about what could be, and so we try to solve it, and our brain can spin out. We can have rumination. And so what's so impactful and powerful is to come back to this present moment and have a pairing. So we need something for our mind to anchor into to feel a little bit more grounded, and that's an empowering thought, such as, I've got this, I know everything is okay. And then the other is to have an object for our body to focus on. So we can feel disconnected from our body when we're in that state of worry. And so if we have one simple object to focus on that we can touch, it can bring us back into our body and get us out of that rumination cycle.
And you brought something with you.
I did. I have 2. I have a heart rock, and I also have this rock that I picked up from the beach that I love. My grandfather taught me this years ago. He kept a little pebble in his pocket, and when he would get into that panic cycle or worry cycle, he would just feel the smooth edges and it would bring him back to the present moment. And so over time, as you practice this, if you write it down, stick it into your backpack, it can prevent you from having a panic cycle or a worry cycle. And so you may not need the actual stone or the thing to focus on the more you train your brain. We practice everything else. We practice the violin, we practice our times tables. What if we practiced present moment? Because that is where everything is okay. If we can just bring it back here and have that sense of peace and ease, then we don't have to have so much worry and anxiety. Everything is actually okay.
Yeah, and that sense of calm makes such a big difference.
Such a big difference, especially in our brain power. So here we are going back to school. Our brains need a sense of peace.
Thank you so much, Ellen.
You're welcome.
So helpful, and I really like that exercise. Best way for people to get more information or get in touch with you?
Sure, EllenPalmerWellness.com.
Perfect.